The Olympus E-PL3 is a pocket rocket of a camera, and in this video I'm going to review this camera and give you an idea on whether this is a camera you want to buy and add to your camera bag. I've come out to one of Lincoln's rare lime woods in the hope of capturing some pictures of some bluebells, a nice carpet of bluebells. Unfortunately, I've left it a bit too late because it looks like the bluebells have gone now, but I have seen some big patches of wild garlic, so hopefully I'll take some pictures of those today. And despite the fact that there's a lack of bluebells, there's lots and lots of other plants too that I think I can get some nice photos of, and I can hopefully test the E-PL3 and give you a view of what that camera is like in real life. The E-PL3 was launched in 2011, almost at the same time as the E-PL2, which is a bit odd because it's a much better camera. And before I get into all the things I like about this camera, what I'll do is I'll explain to you a few of the things I think Olympus could improve on, or you could get those features if you want to spend a bit more money on buying a better or a newer camera. Firstly, the camera doesn't have a viewfinder. All you have is the screen on the back, which is 460,000 dots, and it's 16:9. And I guess if you're a phone photographer, you're quite used to just pointing your phone and looking at the back of the screen. But obviously, as a photographer, I like to look through a viewfinder. You can buy an external viewfinder for these cameras, but obviously that's a lot more money. That sort of doubles the price of the camera. So it's probably not something you would do. But definitely for me personally, I would like a viewfinder. The other thing I'd like is, even though it's got some really good ports, HDMI and USB ports on the side, what it doesn't have is a mic input port, which would be really, really helpful, especially if you're a vlogger. The screen at the back does flip up, it only flips up in one way, and I personally prefer flippy out screens that you can turn round. This one just flips up and flips down, so it is useful. It's definitely better than having a flat screen on the back, but for me, I would like a flippy out screen. Effectively, they're the bad points. There's the three things that I think that could be improved on this camera, or I could spend more money on buying a better camera with these features. Despite the few things that I would like to see improved on this camera, it does have a lot going for it, and I'll try to list out all of the things that I think are really good about this camera, and I think there's a lot of things that are great about it. It's got, as you can tell, a micro four thirds sensor, as many, if not all, of the Olympus cameras, interchangeable lens cameras are. As I said, it was released in 2011, and it's got a 12.3 megapixel sensor. So just the fact that it's got a 12.3 megapixel sensor, I think is really good. And it's got 35 AF points, which is fabulous thinking about a camera of its age. 35 autofocus points is amazing. You can use quite a lot of the screen and pinpoint exactly where you want to focus your shot, which is fabulous. As I mentioned, the tilt screen is 3.5 inch 16:9. It's quite nice. It's got 5 frames per second burst mode and 1080i video. As with all Olympus cameras, it's got amazing IBIS. I think this has got 4 stops of IBIS, so you can sort of hand hold this and get real long exposure shots, or if you're videoing, it helps to smooth out the video. It's got an all-metal body, and it feels really quite strong and robust in your hand, and it's also got a hot shoe mount if you want to use accessories such as flash, which comes with the camera. You get a flash when you buy the camera. Finally, its ISO ranges from 200 to 12,800. It's got a lot of range in ISO. If you need to go to 12,800, you can do it. There's lots of options all the way through that range. Even though I mentioned there's not many bluebells in this forest, there are a few patches of bluebells here and there, and I've got a patch here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this camera, take a picture of those bluebells, just to give you an idea of the quality of the camera, what it can do with photos. I'm just going to take a picture of those bluebells now, and I'll do a little bit of video, and I'll put that up straight away. I'm using the 14-42 kit lens for this picture and video, which is a lens that I actually did a review of, and I'll leave a link somewhere up here for you to have a look if you want to have a look at the review of the lens I did. And this is the lens that came with the camera, although you can get an electronic 14-42 pancake lens, which probably suits this smaller body. As I mentioned, there's not a lot of bluebells in this wood, and I was hoping for a carpet of bluebells, but there are pockets of bluebells here, and there are also pockets of wild garlic. So what I'll do, I'll use this camera, I'll take a few photos of the wild garlic and get a couple more bluebell pictures, and I'll show you exactly how well this camera works in this wildlife environment, and hopefully you'll get a good idea of the quality of picture you can get from this camera. All the shots I'm taking with this camera in manual mode, because that's how I take my photos, but it does have shutter priority, it does have aperture priority, it does have program mode, it's got video of course as I've mentioned, and it's got a scene in art mode, and all those things add up to make this a really versatile camera. It's got lots and lots of different art modes, and you can sort of select different filter types you want to put on this. And like most cameras these days, it's got various scenes like sport and landscape, etc., and portrait, you know what I mean, you've got them on your camera. Not that many of us use those modes, but it's definitely got everything you need. All the B-roll I shoot on this video, I'm going to shoot with this camera, just to give you an idea of what this camera can do and the quality of the video. If it's 1080 video, that's good enough quality for me. Of course, with this camera being micro four thirds, it's got a huge amount of lenses that you can put on this camera, and all of my other lenses that I have for my other Olympus camera all fit perfectly well with this camera. In this image, I'm going to try to isolate these or catkins or these things that are draping from this grass, and I'm going to try to isolate these in the picture and get the background blurry using the lowest aperture I can with the kit lens. Yeah, I have to say, this is a lovely little camera. It's a pocket rocket, as I mentioned, and coupled with the pancake lens, I think it would make a great travel camera. Like every camera, it's got its sort of downsides, but generally, it's a really nice little camera that you can take anywhere with you. I'll put up the pictures at the end, and you can sort of decide for yourselves if you think this is a camera worth buying. These cameras are going for anywhere between £50 and £100, or $50 and $100, depends on where you are in the world. Certainly as a run-around camera that you can use on a general basis, my view is this is a good camera that's well worth looking into. As always, thank you very much indeed for watching the video. If you've made it this far, I'm really pleased, and it's wonderful that you have. If you like the types of video I've been putting out, the reviews, Instagram, etc., I'd be super pleased if you'd subscribe to the channel. That would be fantastic. Once again, thank you very much indeed for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheerio.